Hey everyone, and welcome to 2021. I almost said 2020. We are here. We made it through that year of 2020. Not that 2021 is going to start out all sunshine, butterfrees, and kitty cat friends. There's going to be a lot still going on. We still got the Rona, still got everything else that came along with 2020 that we now need to kind of figure out solutions and are still working on solutions too. There's a lot that happened. We have a lot to wrap up still. We have a lot to process. We have a lot to integrate. We have a lot to learn. And if you're feeling like a little left behind in the transition process with the New Year, extend it out to the Lunar New Year. I find for me, my New Year transition process starts usually around my winter solstice. So that'll be summer solstice if you're down in the southern hemisphere. So at the winter solstice, I start my New Year's transition. That's where it starts. And it continues really on into that changeover with the Lunar New Year. So I find that trying to cram it all into this, especially in a normal year when things are a little more busy and things are going crazy and whatever, things are just busy. There's a lot to do. And working that longer period of time gives you more transition period, gives you more time to do ritual, gives you more time to work with energies that you're finishing out that may need a little bit more time to finish. So don't try and wrap it all up in like this little tiny bundle. It's going to be messy, and that's okay. And last year was the Emperor. 2020 was the Emperor year, and we got to experience the Emperor in its worst form ever. This is 2020 is like the Emperor you never want to see again. That energy, this is the Emperor you don't want to invite into your life. If you get an Emperor card anywhere in your tarot reading or you see your card, life card, whatever. You want to go for the dude that builds the legacies. We got tear down to, which was really, really difficult. And yeah, ugh. This year we got the Hierophant, who I'm really excited about. I know a lot of people who just start kind of think dogma, doctrine, solid, stodgy, rigid. I find this card is so much more fluid than we give it credit for. Really, the Hierophant is really a spiritual teacher, not necessarily a guru. But for me, it's Yoda. Because Yoda's like, here's some information. I don't think you should go, Luke. Like when Luke's on Tatooine. I'm having a brain cramp. Dagobah. It's Dagobah. And Yoda's like, you really shouldn't go. This is a trap. And Luke's like, I gotta go. And Yoda's like, you shouldn't go. And he's like, gonna make his own choices. He knows he can't constrain his student. All he can do is teach them the best he can and let them make the most of what they've learned as they apply them to the situations that they encounter. That's how I see the Hierophant. And I feel like there's this ability to rewrite things right now that is coming in with 2021. That we start the base of a new dogma and doctrine, creating new paradigms for ourselves to live from. And I think that's a really cool place to be. What needs to change? Anti-race, in regards to like racism, how do you work as an anti-racist? How do you show up as an allyship for other people who are not white or are marginalized for whatever those reasons being? And really look at that, the language you use, all sorts of stuff. There's a really big rewrite and re-examination and creation that can come out of the Hierophant year. I'm praying we don't get like some rigid doctrine, like, think like Magdalens or something like that, who took in women who had children or were considered loose back in the day, and just really horrible things. There's a movie on it that's really like, whoa. Something really rigid, strict, and abusive. We don't need that. We need something that's inclusive, wondrous, supportive, and not abusive. Oh. So let's pick a major arcana card other than the Hierophant, which is our current year card. And this is the Wheel of Fortune. Strength. Interesting. Cosmic Shadow Forecast. When I did that reading, I laughed so hard because the guide card for that one was the Emperor, which was 2020 year card we got for the first guide card of 2021. I had a good laugh. So, strength. We got strength here. Where are our strengths? What brings them in? How can you trust yourself to know what you need to do, what you want to do, how to do it? I feel like 2020 kind of left us with some trust issues. Being like, yeah, I thought I knew it, and then it just blew up. How can you bring that solidity back into the body? How can you bring knowing back into the body? It can be really easy to live in your energy, live in your head, and not be fully in your body. And that starts to cause problems. I can live in my head very easily. I've probably spent several years, God knows how many years, just really up in my head, not in my body. I think that's why I like things like dance so much, because dance brought me back into my body, out of my head, down fully into my head. What are my toes doing? What's my leg doing? What's my foot, my fingers, my head, my face? Because when you're dancing, it's not like sports where you get to be like, oh. You'll be all like, oh, I'm just having such a wonderful day, tripping through the tulips, and my legs are burning, and I'm panting and trying just to be ethereal, and yeah. You don't get to, make weird faces and stuff like that unless you're supposed to in character. So things like that. Where is your strength? How do you bring that in? How do you bring the body in? How do you bring the mind, the intuition? How do you wrap this all into one really empowered you? And that's where I feel like strength is. It's like, okay, we've had all this stuff and we're integrating and we're processing and we're mourning. How are you stronger? How are you more vulnerable? Because being vulnerable is part of being strong. Being to express emotions, all that kind of stuff is part of strength. And that's the other aspect of this card is love. Love and trust. Can you trust enough to love? Can you love enough to trust? And this does not mean blind trust. This does not mean trust of like, oh yeah, just because they said they do it, I trust them. No. This is proven trust. And it also feels very, very personal and internal. Someone screws you over, you don't have to trust them ever again if you can't. Maybe they can earn their way back into your trust. Maybe they can't. There's only so much you can be. It's like, yeah, you just screwed me over for the 500th time. No, I'm not doing it this time. Trust is not something that should be given blindly. It shouldn't always need to be proved, but, until they, start proving they're not trustworthy, if they're already doing that, then, oh, good thing. So, okay, this is the Instant Oracle. I felt like we needed something not too heavy, but pertinent. There's like certain decks I'm like, how about the Good Tarot? But I'm like, we'll save that for a little while. It's like the Good Tarot is like whenever I need a big hug or a client needs a big hug, I grab that one. But I find the Instant Oracle is one of those that tends to be empowering and thoughtful. So I went for this one. So we got two that feel really expansive for our start of the year. And the first one is Sky. Just go for it. Sky's the limit. You know what? You made it through 2020. And while we still have to be safe and socially distance, wear a mask, all that kind of not so fun stuff. People want to go hug their friends, their family, Ugh. So, Sky, what's the limit? What's the limit you put on yourself? And do you really believe it? Seriously, What stories are you telling yourself that keep you down? Me, this is one of those things. And I work with the Fraud's Fairy card deck, and been getting honesty over and over and over again. And I'm like, I am being honest with myself. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, oh wait, no, I choose the negative dialogue over the positive one about myself pretty much all the time. Got a little hangover from the negative self-talk habit that I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That's where that card was trying to tell me. Not quite being honest with yourself. And that's what this card has, that feeling. It was like, what's that story that you're telling yourself that's not necessarily so true or is limiting you? For me, it was like choosing the negative over the positive. So one of my big goals is to work on that as part of my positive self-talk regime, and be like, oh wait, I'm picking the negative again. We want to go for that positive. So the sky, big, bold, expansive. Everything in this feels really like potentially awesome if you choose to step into that. And that's not saying just because things are potentially awesome and that there's a lot of good, expansive, juicy energy going on doesn't mean it's not still going to be difficult. There's still going to be challenges. There's still a lot going on. There's still a lot of that Hierophant asking us to rewrite these parameters of what we think is or should be the basis, and bringing in inclusion and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of work to do, but the sky's the limit. Dream big about this stuff. Doesn't matter if it's realistic. Dream it. So you can dream that dream into being eventually. It may not be your, it's like you set it into motion. You may not finish it, but someone else can. So the next one is road. So we got sky and road, which road, where's you going? Where are you going? Are we on the road to nowhere again? As the Talking Heads would say, I'm on the road to nowhere. And really, that can be a powerful thing, too, of being like, I'm just going for the nowhere road. I don't know where I'm going, and I'm just going to walk it and be okay, which brings us back to that strength thing. You see how that kind of just, ooh, I didn't see myself going here. But, man, alive. There's something to be said, be like, not knowing and being like, okay, I'm just going. So, get on that road to nowhere, which is Cafe. One of my main clairs is hearing, so clairaudient. The song lyrics often play a huge role in my understanding, my intuition. So when things like that pop in and then you like get road. Trust yourself. Trust yourself not to know. And know it's okay. Which is really scary because you know what? We all want clarity. I want clarity. But you know what happens? I don't have clarity. That's why I'm doing the big Tarot project, which you'll see the whole plan thing on Wednesday. I have something I want to do, and I keep putting off because I don't have clarity, and I need to get on the road to nowhere with it, obviously. So, hello, Tarot deck. We're on the road to nowhere together. Maybe that's going to be the name. We're on the road to nowhere. So let's do a quick recap and pull a... Let's get everyone in the right order. The affirmation card. So Hierophant Year Energy card 2021 is a Hierophant year. Haven't heard a lot of people talking about it too much. I love this card. When I went into my Hierophant year card year for my personal one, I really didn't know what to expect. It's always been very kind of meh to me as a reader for a very long time. And then working with as my tarot card, it's like, oh my God, I love this card so much. There's a lot you can do with it. Think of it as fresh, expansive, new paradigms, not stodgy, dodgy oldness. Strength. We're going to trust ourselves. We're going to walk into empowerment and be like, hell yeah, we can do this. It may not be perfect. It may be messy. It may be incomplete, but we can do this. We're going to trust ourselves enough to love and love enough to trust. That does not mean blind trust. Someone keeps repeatedly not doing good things. Trust them not to do good things and, move on. So we got the sky. Go for it. Just go for it. soar, set your mind free, even if it's just in your mind. Daydream, moon about, have some free thought time, and be bored if you need to be. Sometimes boredom is a really good thing, or at least not doing. I'm not a person who's bored very often. My mind's too busy to be bored. There's always something going on. But those moments where I'm staring off in space, not thinking, are some of my favorite moments. So that's the kind of thing you want to look at there. Big, bold, juicy, expansive energy. And then we go to the road to nowhere. We got to trust ourselves enough, love enough to trust that we can go on this path and not know where the heck it's going to go. Enjoy it, have fun with it, learn from it, and know that, yeah, we're on the right path, even though we have absolutely no clarity about what's going on, what's going to happen, where we're going to be. So many question marks still going into 2021. And some resolutions also on the horizon. So, you know, it's like hopeful and fearful all at the same time, this transition, right? It's just, it's very interesting. Okay, let's pick out a affirmation card. And there are five, I think, affirmation cards for sale currently. If you want to pick one up and have USPS drag the snail backwards to get it to you. The soul knows is our card. So it really complements everything we've been talking about. Listen to your soul. Listen to where it's taking you. Not sure if something's good? Check in with the soul. Check in with your heart. Does it feel big, juicy, and expansive, or does it feel hard and contracted? Big, juicy, expansive? That's my yes. Hard and kind of like, ugh. That's my no. And anything in between is, yeah, whatever you want to do it, do it. Not a huge thing, but sometimes those maybes turn into big things. Alrighty, everyone. So that is the January energy forecast. So everyone have a wonderful day and go out there and be the love in the world. Bye-bye.